Look at this girl. Nope, nope, not the naked one. This one. Good from far, far from good. If you guys aren't completely caught up with all the S10 stuff, we completely redid the entire cab. I repaired a bunch of rust. I did like both cab corners, both rocker panels, both floorboards, and we had some fun when we were doing it. So if you guys aren't caught up with those videos, definitely go check them out and make sure you guys keep up. All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you guys are having a great day. I realized like yesterday that I'm doing something very dumb here. I've always backed the cars into this garage and then had this studio light shining when I'm doing like front end work, but I'm always doing front end work. I like rarely work on the rear of the car. And then on this side, I have two lights. So I pulled it in, and when I pulled it in, I'm like, why do I not do this all the time? Like, look at this. How much more sense does this make? Pull the car in, look at all the room here, and then I can just like work in the engine. I can have all my tools right there. Like this just makes more sense. I don't know why I was doing it the other way. Also, who pulled you in so far? What? Go farther back towards the door. You're too close. Anyways, it's less pleasing when you open the door from outside. It doesn't look as cool, but like when you're inside the garage, it definitely feels a lot better to be in here like this. So I don't know why it took me so long to figure it out, but at least I did. Anyways, you guys know that I'm excited to start on the BRZ build. We have this entire wall full of stuff. This is the entire BRZ build is on that wall, and I'm super stoked to start on it. And I was gonna actually start on it today, but I need a car to drive around during the meantime. Like the truck's out of commission right now. And the Civic has issues, and I absolutely love this car, and like ever since we dipped the yellow and got the wide body kit on it, I've been super hyped about it. But you've also probably noticed I haven't really drove it because this thing is always breaking. I'm hoping we can fix those issues today. I want to just fix everything I hate about the Civic needs to get fixed today because I'm sick of not driving it. I'm sick of it just sitting here. Like it looks dope, and I miss when I used to just drive the hell out of it all the time. I haven't been doing that in a long time. The only issue that we can't fix today is the wheels. We have wheels, but we don't have tires for them yet. The tires should be here later this week, but I don't have the tires yet. For the rest of the stuff today, I'm gonna try and tie up all the loose ends because I just want to daily this thing just for fun. And that, my friends, is why I bought bags. And ever since we went to California and I hit that thing on the road on the way home and like completely destroyed my front lip, whenever my front bumper pulls on anything, my like daytime running lights just eject out the front like that. It's so stupid. So stupid. I was just about to complain, and I was just about to say, hey, come to the junkyard, I hate doing this stuff, because you guys know I hate it. Broke the adapter for my 32mm socket so I can take this off, and then I broke my Phillips trying to get the brakes off, and I just broke so many things all at once, and now I like can't even get this stuff off. So I'm gonna have to rip it off and go over there and ask these guys for a hand, because I know they have tools in there somewhere. But I was gonna complain to you guys, and then I realized a better attitude is probably being thankful that I live somewhat near a wreckers like this so I can come and get parts like this, because I have blown another wheel bearing on the Civic, another one. And for anybody else that would run into this issue that doesn't live near a wrecker, you'd have to look for someone parting something out, or you'd have to buy the tools like a press to actually do the wheel bearing, because you can't just do it. You need like a press or something. It would be a lot of work. I'm thankful that I can just come out here, rip this off, not really pay much for it, go home and put it on, even though I keep breaking my couple tools down, a lot of sweat later, another piece we are missing from the puzzle. All right, now comes my favorite part, which I don't really know why it's my favorite part, because I have yet to ever find anything cool, but there's always a little hope I'm gonna find something really cool here. All right, you guys ready to see what we found extra today? I was wandering around and I found absolutely nothing. This always happens. I always have such a high hopes for the junkyard, and I think I'm gonna find cool stuff. I never find cool stuff. It's always just broken garbage, really. So really the main task today is to make this thing wheels and tires aside, ready to be my daily, because this thing's going under the knife. The truck is in a million pieces. I need a daily. This, you, Jasmine, that's you. We can start with something actually pretty easy. So if you guys remember when we had the old gauge cluster, we had it, not gauge cluster, we had the old pillar pod, not pillar pod. Today's gonna be one of those days where words are hard. When we had the old gauge pod setup, whatever you want to call it, it was ran through the center of the dash. It came up right here. So there was the 3 gauges, I had the cool little holder, whatever. But when we installed it, I cut up this piece to run the wires and everything through. And then ever since I put the dash back, I haven't had that piece. And that is just, it really just makes it feel incomplete. So first piece we picked up at the junkyard, just a replacement. Boom, baby. Simple little things like that will make this car feel way better. That was thing 1. So next thing we gotta do is replace this wheel bearing again. Guy also ripped the axle off. He like took the whole shaft out and then he was like, oh yeah, here you go. And they tried to charge me for this brake disc. And I was like, bro, I broke my Phillips, I can't get it off. And he's like, oh yeah, well whatever, then you can just have it. He was gonna charge me for this. Look at this thing. It's so cussy. Like, dude, come on. Let's try and pull this cussy nugget off. Let's try the big boy. Oh. I literally replaced this a couple months ago. My theory is when we blew this thing, we were on our way to Calgary. So we drove all the way to Calgary. We did the whole show. We did the whole thing that weekend. And then we drove all the way home with a blown wheel bearing. Like to the point where when I got home, like my wheel was like sideways. I destroyed stuff. It was bad. But I think what happened was the wheel, like the actual tire got like a really bad wear pattern on it. So I put a new wheel bearing on there, but because the tire had such a bad from vibrating the whole way home, that it actually blew this wheel bearing. I think that makes the most sense to me. Like I'm pretty sure that's what happened here. Third problem that we're fixing today is like 2 weeks ago, I want to say, I did this and I put the new springs and everything in, which allowed the Civic to sit lower. I was following the instructions that came with them and I did it the way that they said, but at this point I have 1 strut, 1 set of springs, and 1 air cup system that is all completely different companies and just kind of like pieced together. So it's kind of like a puzzle. And basically I didn't do it right. Like the puzzle's not completely finished yet. The way that I was instructed to put these on, not by stance parts, but what I was looking at to put these on, basically put it till this has no tension. Moral of the story, they're on there and look at this. They're loose, which isn't good. It's not ideal. I know it's not supposed to be that way. That's why we're gonna fix it. But the main test was to make sure that when they were aired up, they felt better. What's happening right now is I'm hitting a bump and my spring is fully opening back up and like going beyond that and then coming back down. So it's like going like this every time I hit a bump. Whereas if it's like already pre-compressed, it'll just kind of go like this and give you what you need. Does that make sense? Am I explaining this wrong? But when I installed it, that day my main focus was on being aired up. So there's really no way I can show you. I can't just like take it out for a drive and show you how it feels because you won't really, it's one of those things you're never gonna see through the camera how it feels. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna push these guys up until like everything sits kind of like this, where nothing will move and it's kind of tight like it should be. And then essentially I'm just gonna bring the whole system back down till this line matches again, because then I should have the same ride height, just a little bit less travel. Fixing a problem means we're making a problem. So I was trying to get the brake to fit and I was like, why the hell is this brake rotor not fitting? And then I thought maybe it was a different bolt pattern, like I thought I got played somehow like that. And I checked it all out and the bolt pattern's the same, but the rotor won't like go on. And now I'm sure I can Google this and find the answer really quickly, but I haven't done that yet. This is me as this is happening. I had no idea there was different like hub sizes. I knew that these are interchangeable with Acuras, like the Integras and all that kind of stuff. You can just swap these guys out. So I figured all Civics have the same one. Maybe the one I stole it from had a brake upgrade. That's a good possibility. I have no idea. Like, I honestly have no idea, but look at the size and the hub difference. Look at the gap right beside like the lugs, and then look how big the gap is beside the lugs on this guy. Like the hub is, like that hub is significantly bigger. So the bolt pattern is the same, the whole assembly is the same, but this guy is just wider. I mean, like maybe it's a swap from something else. Maybe this is from like an Integra with bigger brakes, because I know you can also do that. So I sanded down the rotor that it came with. I'm gonna try and test fit it. I'm like, Civic, like Jasmine, you're getting brakes. I know you're just like, stop touching me and start driving me, but no, can't do that. So I hope this works, just for the sake of being able to see if what I just did, the suspension works, because otherwise I super played myself. But this rotor fits over the larger hub size. That rotor doesn't. So I can't use the rotor that was on there. And now I don't know if my brakes are gonna work here. Like I might need a bigger caliper setup, right? Like, no, I don't. Maybe I do. I think I need 2 hands for this. Don't get how this is working. Like I wouldn't call this working. I mean, honestly, maybe it is, I don't really know, but like it spins, but the rotor's in such rough shape you can hear it like scraping in there. I genuinely want you guys to help me here, because somebody out there, like you guys are gonna know better than I know, just by looking at this, what's happening. And I can go on forums and read all day long, but you guys, some of you guys are just gonna look at this and know, what the hell did I just do? Is there different brake things for different Civic? Like I said, you can get the same brakes like my other, when I blew the first bearing, that one is from an Integra. And I just pulled it off an Integra and brought it home. This is from the exact same year Civic. So how it's bigger, I don't know. I have to air it up to get it off this jack, because I can't go all the way down without airing this thing up. So firstly, let's see how much we actually affected the travel on this thing. Hopefully it's not a lot. It looks still pretty high. Like it still looks like there's a pretty decent gap right here. I can still put my whole fist. Either way, let's fire up a tape measure. I just want to see. I'll use this dinky little one. Right at the center of the wheel, air it up. We are about 25.5. Oh yeah, dude, we're still getting so much travel. That's 22.5. That's still literally 3 inches of travel, which is sick. I knew the front was gonna be fine because the front was already fine before. I didn't really have to do what I did before. Anyways, I knew the front was fine, so that's good. The front still has a bunch of travel. I'm gonna do the same thing to the rears, and hopefully the rears travel as much. They probably won't. We'll probably go from about 3 inches of travel in the rear to about 2 inches of travel in the rear. But I mean, like being able to air up over things is still the most important piece, so that is dope. You guys noticed in that time lapse, I tried to move the car forward, and I guess that brake is so wrong in the front. Like this literally pooched my entire video. My plan was to put the springs on and go drive it around and make sure it felt good. I can't push the car. Like it's so tight in there, that rotor is so big compared to like the caliper, that I can't even roll the car. I had to start it and force it forwards, which is terrible. Let's get an aired out measurement here. About 23.25. Yep, I'm gonna go with about 23.25. Oh, dude, we actually did get some decent travel in the back. That is better than I expected. I expected us to take away all of it and have it be like it was before, where the rear never really aired up. Well, we're at 25.25. 25.25, which is like enough. Before it was like 1. It was terrible. So, sure, I made the spring compress a little bit more in the rear. I'll try and drive with it not aired up, obviously. But it still airs up plenty. Like it airs up 2 inches, which is enough to get over things. And the front does 3, which is the most important part. You want the front to air up more than you want the rear to air up. Was successful. I hope it feels nice driving. I really hate doing videos like this where I can't, like you guys have no idea how much pain it puts me in to put this video out and not actually know if I fixed the problem. Like I hate that. I absolutely hate that, but like I don't have a choice. Like I can give this thing full beans and it won't move. Just because of this stupid brake. A couple other things I wanted to do. You guys never knew about this, but when we were at Brad's, he didn't have the right size rivets. He actually had rivets that were too small, so these, like look, I just pulled this one right out. See how it's sitting weirdly now? Like this thing's barely in there. It's in there enough that it won't pop through, but like it's barely in there, you know? That's how all these are, because they're all the wrong size. And we keep taking that thing off, and I keep drilling out the rivets and putting new rivets and drilling out the rivets and putting new rivets, so I just decided we're not gonna do that anymore, we're just gonna use hardware. And I do have the perfect hardware. I think these will be minty. These are like super clean, just little Allen keys, so they're nice and easy to look at. They're also very, very small. Yo, that actually looks pretty good. Underneath is just riddled with nuts now, but from the like from here it just kind of looks the same, to be honest. Like you wouldn't even really notice a difference. These are a little bit bigger than a rivet would have been, so when you're up close you kind of can see that. Ooh, it looks like I over tightened it right here, kind of bowed. Like when you're up close you see it a little bit, but it's barely anything. So I think that is also sick. That looks pretty good. And then honestly, the point of this video was for me to just fix like a million little things. That's how I set out to do it. But at this point, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna try and see if I'm gonna be able to make this thing work that I put on there. Obviously, I can't do anything with it. I literally installed it just to make sure I got the ride height properly so that I can check like the air up, air down kind of height. I don't expect it to work. Like I don't wanna drive it with that disc in there. I'm gonna go inside and see if like there's any way I can make this work, or I don't know, if you guys could just comment and let me know, that'd be awesome. This video will go out tomorrow, so you guys are gonna be able to help me pretty immediately, which is good. I'm not gonna waste the rest of my night just trying to figure like other things out when I need to figure out if I need to go back to the junkyard. It's not terrible, but I might just end up having to go all the way back and return that one and get the right one, or maybe just steal the brakes that go with it and do like a full upgrade because it's bigger brakes. It's been a long day. It's obviously been one of those days. You guys can tell right from the beginning, I can't even speak today. Everything's just having a day. I'm having a day. So that's kind of it. That's where I'm gonna leave today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry that, I don't really know why I just said I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. Shit happens. This is life. This is the way it goes. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Stay committed.